Hey, one of the best ways to become a better trader, specifically if you're an options trader, is that you have to understand how the stock is going to move on the chart. So you have to be proficient at being a technical analyst, which is looking at the stock charts. If you're not looking at the stock charts, then how do you know which way the stock's going to move? If you're an options trader, you got to know that the ultimate decider of whether you're going to have a profitable options trade or not is where the stock moves to or doesn't move to. So if you can't figure that out, then you have no business trading options. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the charts. I'm going to show you what I look at. I'm going to show you the patterns that show up over and over and over again that can help you figure out or pinpoint when a stock is getting ready to move in a certain direction. And that will definitely increase your options trading profitability. So if you're ready to look at some charts with me, then you're going to want to stick around and watch this video. So let's go. All right, everyone, Lee Lowell here from smartoptionseller.com, where we try to help you become a better options trader. And the number one key is looking at the stock charts and trying to figure out where the stock is going to go. And how do you do that? You look at support and resistance, you use your technical indicators, you look at the trends, you look at the patterns. All these things happen over and over and over again. So once you understand and look at, where I looked at hundreds of thousands of charts over the 30 years I've been in this business, these patterns repeat. So if you can figure out and understand and see when these patterns are developing, it's going to help you up your options trading game. So let's jump right in and start looking at the charts. So what we always do is we want to look at the overall market. We want to see which way the overall market is going. And by that, we look at the S&P 500. And we typically look at the SPY, which is the exchange traded fund for the S&P 500. So we want to know how the broader market as a whole is doing, because a lot of the individual stocks will follow the broader market as long as there's nothing else going on within those individual stocks, specifically in earnings announcements. So companies announce their earnings every 3 months, but in between that off period, they typically will follow the general market. So let's look at the S&P 500 first and see what's been going on. Now, if you've been watching these videos that I make, you know that we like to look at the past and see what's been happening over the last couple years. What you see on your screen is my pretty much the charts that I look at. It's pretty much a 2-year time span that I have on the screen here. And I look at the daily charts for the most part. The daily charts give us a good indication of how stocks are trending. And here's the price action. These bars are 1 day's worth of trading. And I have 3 moving averages. I have a 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day simple moving averages all on the chart here. And down here is the 14-day RSI. It's an overbought, oversold type of indicator. So let's take a look at what's been happening in the broader market, the S&P 500. So we know 2022 was not a great year for the market. Here's January 2022, and the market had gone down, down, down all the way till about October, sometime the middle of October, and the market started to rally back, go a little sideways, and start to move higher again. So what we've been talking about is the S&P 500 had this resistance area right around the 420 mark on the SPY. Okay, so what we wanted to see was for the bulls, and here at the Smart Option Seller, we sell put options, we sell put option credit spreads, which are more bullishly oriented type of trades. So we're always looking for the bullish type of trade. We're looking for the stocks and indexes that are getting ready to move higher. That's what we do. So we're not going to take any bearish kind of trades here. We're only looking for the bullish types of trades. So what we want to see is a breakout to the upside. So the S&P 500 had this resistance for a number of months right around the 420 level you can see here. So how do you figure that out? How do you know what to look for? Well, this one specific pattern right here is what's called an ascending triangle. I'm going to show you a bunch of charts that have this ascending triangle on it. And what it means is that the price action has been moving higher over a period of time, but it just can't get through this one area of resistance. This resistance is because the stock is having trouble breaking through. But the price action keeps moving higher and it just can't get through it. But once it does eventually break through, it has that force, that energy built up that will continue to move it on in that direction for the most part. So the S&P 500 finally broke through this 420 level and even got through the 430 level. And just on Friday, this week, June 30th, last day of June. It just made a new high for this period of time. It broke past this other new high here. And then it's got this bullish momentum behind it. And the last time it was around $443 was way back in April of 2022. So we've reversed a lot of this downtrend of 2022, and the market's starting to go higher. So I'm definitely bullish on the market here. It's got good momentum behind it. It bounced nicely off this blue line, which is the 20-day simple moving average. So the market's got some good momentum behind it. So we like to see that. Individual stocks should typically start to follow along with it. Let's take a look at, and just before we do that, you can see that one of the best things that you can do as a chart reader is just to see which way a stock or index is trending. Obviously, you can see the market's been going down. Now, these blue lines here are the lines that I draw. You draw these manually. They don't come automatically on the charts. And it's just a great visual to see which way the market's going. Now, obviously, it broke out of the downtrend right around here, finally broke out of the downtrend, started to go sideways, and is now moving higher. So this long downtrend in 2022 has now been negated, okay? We just keep it here on the charts just so you can see as a reference. So the market's going up here. So we can even draw, new trend lines. You have to draw them yourself. So you got a nice little uptrend going here, and here you can kind of draw the top edge of the trend as well. Doesn't have to be exact. You just want to see which way the market's trending. So you can see here, right around this area, last week in the market, right along the bottom edge of this new channel. Okay, so that's a good area to potentially get long because it's bouncing off the bottom edge and starting to move higher. Let's look at the NASDAQ represented by the triple Qs. Also very strong. And once my chart loads up here, so we can see in 2022, same thing. I didn't draw the trend lines, but you can obviously see the market moving down. Found some support right around the 260 level, end of October, early 2023, and has just been moving higher, which is a great thing. Okay, so we can remove these lines and sort of redraw them so we can extend them out. I had drawn those, weeks ago. So we've got a nice little trend here. Okay. Draw some tops, connect some tops. So you can see the triple Qs are moving up nicely. Got a little overbought here on the RSI. So you saw the little pullback, but it's finding support right on the 20-day moving average. The market's bullish. So when it's bullish, it may not pull back all the way to the bottom edge of the channel. Right now it's finding support on the 20-day moving average. If it does fall back, here's the next line of support, which is the 50-day moving average. And then eventually, if it breaks through that, it should find support on the bottom edge of the channel. So if you're looking to get long, you want to wait for a point for a pullback. Now, you have to wait to see if it bounces off the 20-day, which it has. So it's got some more bullish momentum. It'll probably keep moving higher until once again it touches the top edge of the channel. So the S&P 500, NASDAQ, both have been leading the market. Let's look at the Dow Jones because that's sort of been the laggard. So there may be some opportunities here for some of these Dow industrial type of stocks to possibly catch up to the rest of the market. So let me move myself over here. So the symbol here is the DIA. DIA is the exchange traded fund for the Dow. Now, I had drawn these lines long ago just to show you what's been happening. You can see the downtrend, the uptrend, the downtrend, the uptrend. Now, this is what we call a W pattern, which is typically a bullish type of pattern. But the Dow, the DIA, just could not get through this area of resistance right around, just below the 345 level. I'm thinking that, these Dow stocks are right on this cusp of breaking through the resistance. So I think the Dow has got some catching up to do, and I think it's getting ready to blast off here. So once again, you can see this ascending triangle. It just can't get through this 345 level really strongly yet. It's got the resistance way back, all the way back to last summer of 2022. So if the Dow can follow along with the NASDAQ and S&P 500, this could be the ultimate breakout point right here. So really keep an eye on the Dow, the DIA. If you want to get long this thing, You can buy shares, you can sell put options, you can sell put option credit spreads, you can buy calls, buy call spreads, all these bullish types of trades. If you're an options trader, if you're a stock trader, then you can just outright buy the DIA if you're bullish. If you're looking at this pattern, if it could convincingly get above this resistance, it's got room to go, especially if it wants to catch up to the bullish momentum of the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. I'm going to keep an eye on the Dow this week, see if this thing goes. If it goes, it's going to go because it has all this power, energy waiting to just blast through this thing. So keep an eye on the Dow Jones this week. All right, let's look at some charts. I want to show you some more of these ascending triangle patterns. Let's look at, what did we have? Pfizer. In some of these stocks, I've been detailing the last couple weeks. So Pfizer also had this ascending triangle. Now, they're all not going to work out. What I always tell you is that you want to wait for a couple of days of confirmation once it gets through the resistance. Pfizer was knocking on the door around, just below $41. It just couldn't get through it, and it got knocked back down. So Pfizer back down to the lows, $36. That's a pretty decent low for Pfizer. May have found some support here. Don't know yet. One of the things you can also look at here is the RSI. As the market's moving down, the RSI is not making new lows. So this is an overbought, oversold indicator. This also can tell you that the selling may be drying up here, down here, because you can see the price action made a new low compared to over here, but the RSI is not giving it a new low on this movement. So that could mean the selling is sort of coming to an end here, and we may see some bullish action from Pfizer. All right, so that's Pfizer. We want to look at Hormel as well, because we've been showing you some of these stocks over the past couple weeks. Now, Hormel was trying to break through right around the same area as Pfizer, right around that $41 level. Had one, maybe 2 days it was trying to get through, just couldn't, and it got knocked back down. So Hormel's in this little channel here. Will it get back down to the bottom edge near 38? It's possible, but you can see the last 2 days it started to rally up again. So Pfizer's kind of still stuck in this channel here. There's no breakout action as of yet until it gets convincingly above the $41 level. Let's look at some of the big names, some of these big stocks, these FANG stocks that have been driving the market. This is Amazon. Okay, Amazon is in this nice uptrending channel here. Now it's been finding support on the 20-day moving average. So as long as a stock is in the certain trend, in this case an uptrend, it will typically find some support at either the 20-day or the 50-day right here, or the bottom edge of the channel. Down here is this is the 200-day moving average. That would be our last line of support. But Amazon moving higher, catching support at the 20-day. So it should continue to maybe drive along this top edge of the channel. If it does pull back, it doesn't have a lot. It won't give up a lot of its price action, but if you're waiting to get long, maybe wait for it to catch up to the 50-day moving average. If it even falls that far, it may not even fall that far. So Amazon, one of the strong stocks that's pulling the market up. Let's look at Apple, because we know Apple's just a monster. Just became the first $3 trillion capitalized market cap company in history. I'm pretty sure that's what happened this week when Apple made another all-time new high here. Just a monster. So we've been talking about Apple in this long, let me move myself over here a little bit, this W pattern right here. You can see how it looks like a W, which is typically a bullish pattern, but Apple could not get through this 180 level for a long time. Some people may say this was a triple top as well, which should have driven Apple lower, but nope. Apple has now made all-time new highs. Let's go out to the monthly, take a quick look. Yep, you can see that Apple all-time new highs. It was only a matter of time before Apple made all-time new highs here and became a $3 trillion company, getting close to the $195 level. Is Apple overbought here? It's getting a little frothy, I'll say, on the upside. Some of the momentum may be waning. You can see the RSI down here getting to the Overbought Aries doesn't necessarily mean it's going to take a nosedive just because it's overbought. It just may mean that it's going to take a breather here, maybe a little retracement, little sideways action, but a total collapse is not in the cards. This overbought just means it's just there's some froth there. It needs a little breather. It needs a little pullback. So possibly for Apple, you may see a pullback to the 20-day moving average, which you can see it's just been riding along the whole time. Hasn't even pulled back to the 50-day moving average in a long time. So use that 20-day moving average as your potential next buy area if you're willing to step up and get long Apple. And also look at the RSI, see if it's pulled back a little bit, maybe towards the 50 level, which is, you know, right smack in the middle there. All right, so that's Apple. Let's look at Google. We're looking at these stocks that are really pushing the market. Once again here, Google had the ascending triangle pattern, moving up, has the resistance here, and once it finally breaks through the resistance, it goes. It's gonna go. And in this case, it pulled back right to the 50-day moving average. So if you're looking to get long Google, this could be your launch pad right here, right off the 50-day moving average, which it looks like it's starting to move to. So you want to wait for these more opportune times if you want to move on with the same trend. So you want to wait for a little pullback to either the 20-day or the 50-day and wait for it to bounce, and that's your key when to get in. Let's look at some of the semi stocks. Nvidia, just a monster of a stock, just going crazy. Nvidia, it got overbought here on the RSI, but you can see there was no major pullback. It pulled back a little bit on the RSI because we had some sideways action, and now it's starting to move up again, finding support right on the 20-day moving average. Nvidia, very strong stock. Would I buy up here? I don't know. It could keep going. It's not going to have a meltdown, that's for sure. But where do you buy in from here? It's a very expensive stock. You got to wait for where it finds some support. Will it fall through the 20-day down to the 50-day? Hard to tell. We don't have any position on Nvidia, but I want to show you AMD, which we do have a position on. AMD also in the chip sector. You can see in the channel, bouncing nicely in the channel, it got outside and above the channel. We got long by selling put options right here. Thought it was going to bounce off the 20-day. It actually fell through, but now finding support right around the 50-day moving average and starting to move higher again. So, sometimes nothing's 100%, nothing's guaranteed. I don't want to make you think that this is going to work 100% of the time, because it doesn't. But as long as you make these better, you wait for the catalysts, you wait for the higher probability setups, as I call them. So the higher probability setups is you watch to see where the trend is, wait for the pullback, and that's when you get in. Don't buy up here when it's really overbought. You can see it got overbought on the RSI. Wait for that pullback or that sideways action where the froth gets taken out a little. Now you can see AMD on the RSI, cooled off. So hopefully it's going to keep moving higher from that point going forward. Let's look at Tesla. Everyone loves Tesla. At this point, I am bullish on Tesla as well. Tesla was in this long downtrend. Move myself here. Tesla was in this long downtrend. Finally broke out of the upper edge of the downtrend. So that negates this downtrend here. In my opinion, Tesla now is on a long, and it is bouncing right off the 20-day moving average here. Got a little frothy, got overbought, had the pullback, and now it's in a new uptrend. So we can draw, let's get some lines here. Okay. So now Tesla's in a pretty narrow channel here on the upside, but it's starting to work its way back down to the bottom edge of the channel here, bouncing off the 20-day moving average. Tesla should keep going higher. Everyone likes to be long Tesla, and I can see that bullish momentum to continue. Let's look at some other stocks here. Microsoft, another monster of a stock, just really moving along on the upwards trajectory. It's on the top edge of the channel here, but it's finding support on the 20-day moving average. So as the stock's in an uptrend, you wait for the pullback for the higher probability setup. Let's look at Coca-Cola. We look at some of the stalwarts here. You can see this ascending, this was a congestion triangle, I should say, congestion pattern where the trading action is wide and then it gets tighter and tighter and tighter until it has to blast out in one direction or the other. In this way, it blasted back, it blasted down. But don't count out a quality stock like Coca-Cola for too long because it bounces back and it moves up and down. So right here, we can possibly see some support. Coca-Cola has been in a pretty wide range here. Let's make this around $59 support and right below $65, going back a decent way here. Okay, so this is the channel that Coca-Cola is in. If you want to trade Coca-Cola, at this point, it's getting down to the support that it's had for the last few months. What you want to do is maybe wait to see if it pulls back a little bit more and then starts to bounce. Buying right here, maybe you can maybe nibble a little bit. I would wait to see for the next bounce. It may not get all the way down here, but at least wait until it starts to move up, and that could be your catalyst to start buying Coca-Cola. Should bounce back up to that top edge of the channel. Pepsi, let's look at its friend Pepsi. All right, so Pepsi, we've talked about, a great company, great dividend paying stock, just been bouncing along in the channel. It just gives you reference, gives you context for which way the stock is moving. Now Pepsi, right as it's pulled back, got overbought up here based on the RSI, has had a nice pullback, and it looks like it maybe it found its footing here. It looks like the next leg of the uptrend could be starting for Pepsi here. Okay, the RSI starting to move back up, price action moving a little sideways. So I think the next leg of the uptrend should continue for Pepsi here. So you want to make sure you look at these patterns that could help you when you want to get into an options trade. It'll help you time your options trade better. You don't want to get into a trade and have the stock completely move against you right off the bat. Just leads to frustration and just leads to stress and angst. And sometimes you get out of the trade too early before the stock actually ends up making the move. So you want to make these trades when there's a catalyst there, when the stock's ready to make a move. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let's go through some of our stocks here. Nike had some earnings this week, didn't do much, just kind of trading sideways. We looked at Apple, Amazon. Let's see if there's anything with Netflix. Netflix, strong stock. Once again, you can see we had the congestion pattern here, finally broke out to the upside. So look at this, finding support right on the 20-day moving average as it's moving higher. So it's going to find support at either the 20-day or the 50-day. Got a little overbought here, pulled back, and now finding support on the 20-day moving average. As long as these stocks are all in an uptrend, they're going to find support at the 20-day or 50-day and then continue to move higher from there. Okay, so I like Home Depot and Lowe's at the same time, two home construction companies. You can see the ascending triangle had the resistance, right around 305, finally broke through it. Let's open this up a little bit more so you can see it. Broke through, pulled back. So this could be the next area of support. If it breaks through and then pulls back again, you want to make sure that it bounces and continues higher. Let's look at Lowe's, see if there's a pattern there. Now Lowe's looks a little stronger. We had the resistance here for Lowe's. Okay, you just kind of eyeball these things. Had the ascending area, the price action's moving higher. So Lowe's breaking out right here. Could have some more momentum behind it. So Home Depot and Lowe's, keep an eye on that for bullish action this week. Let's see if there's anything else we want to look at. Here's Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, looking good, moving up, doing well. That's just got some strong support. You can draw the support just on one side of the price action. Okay, so good support there. I'm going to show you a report that I wrote about Warren Buffett on our website. You may want to take a look at that. I think that's about it. Anything else? Any other stocks? Verizon, still down the dumps. AT&T, we drew a little pattern here recently. Couldn't break out of the ascending triangle, so it's still kind of hovering down there. Disney, we look at usually sometimes. Disney's once again coming back down to the support here. It's going to break up to the upside at some point, but right now it's just kind of languishing down at the lows there. All right, I think that's about it for the charts. Once again, I'm bullish here. I think the general market's going higher. I think some of these Dow stocks are getting ready to catch up with the rest. So keep an eye on some of these charts that we've been looking at. Look for those patterns. Wait for those breakout points. And when you think it's getting ready to break out and turn higher, that's when you strike. We sell put options. Let's go to our website real quick. Smart Option Seller. We sell put options. That's what we do. Here's our free ebook on put selling basics. It's all about what put selling is, why we love it so much, why it works so well. Scroll down, read a little bit about it. Put your name and email address in this box here. We'll send you an email with a link to download the free ebook. You'll see this box all over our website. You only have to fill it out once. In the description of the video here, I'm going to put in some websites, some books, easy technical analysis books that you may want to look at, some websites you want to look at that can help you understand some more of these patterns. If you're looking for brokers, I have links to broker that I use. You can also, on our website, go to our helpful links here, other websites that you can look at that can help your game, help your options trading game. And lastly, here's our services tab, our 2 newsletters, Smart Option Seller and Vertical Spread Trader newsletter. These are all about selling put options and selling put option credit spreads. If you need help, if you want to become a better trader, you need help getting to that next level, consider our one-on-one coaching sessions. And lastly, down here, shop, click on that. That's where the Warren Buffett report is that I wrote. You may want to take a look at that. All right. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. It helps YouTube push this video out to more and more people. So I want everyone to understand why we love trading so much and how to become a better trader. Send me an email. I'll always answer your emails. All right, that's all for me today. We got a little bit of a shortened trading week this week coming up, July 4th holiday here in the United States. I hope everyone has a great weekend and a great trading week ahead. This is Lee Lowell signing off.